From Fox 12 Oregon, this is breaking news.
We want to give you a live update now on some of the breaking news that we brought you back at 10. Police are looking for a man they say used a bomb threat to rob an adult video store in Vancouver. KPTV's Sophie Sung joins us live from the scene now with the very latest. What have you found out, Sophie?
Yeah, Wayne, I just found out that police have not been able to pick up a scent with their canine units of that suspect, so he remains on the loose. Employees inside the store still have not been able to leave. Earlier tonight, I did get to talk with them, and they tell me they were scared, but otherwise they're okay. Officers have been here with their canine units trying to pick up that scent, as I talked about, and set up a perimeter to try to track down that suspect. They tell me a man walked inside Taboo at around 9 tonight. He had a note that said he had a bomb strapped to him and told employees, quote, "I'm serious." Employees told police they were able to see some wires coming out of his clothes. They told the man to leave and called 911. The man ended up taking off empty-handed. We talked with an employee's mom and boyfriend who said they rushed the store as soon as they heard the news.
She said she was okay. She had some scary news to tell me, and somebody had robbed the store, and I says, I'm on my way. I just hung up on her. Just in shock. I'm still just can't believe this happened. I don't understand it.
Now, earlier this month, on November 1st and 11th, two similar robberies happened, also here in Vancouver. In both those cases, a man walked into a Mary Jane's House of Glass store and claimed he had a bomb strapped to his body. No arrests have been made in either one of those cases. Police here tell me it's highly likely that all three of those robberies are connected. Now, police are reviewing surveillance cameras to get a better look of that man. All they're able to tell me right now is that he is a white man wearing dark clothing. And again, so far, they have not been able to track down that suspect. Reporting live from Vancouver tonight, Sophie Sung, Fox 12 Oregon.
A software mogul is accused of making violent threats against a Portland man. According to court documents, a local property manager says he was threatened by John McAfee after a dispute involving some overdue rent. KPTV's Kimberly Eaton talked with McAfee tonight, and she joins us live with more on the conversation and also the protective order that's now been filed against him. Kimberly?
Wayne, I talked to many people who live in this building behind me. They know their neighbor, John McAfee, well. They say he rarely was seen without bodyguards and always had company. But it's what's outlined in these court documents of what he did behind a computer that has one man fearing for his life. I hope you have a safe to run to. Court documents show that was John McAfee's response when his apartment property manager told him in October he was more than $2,000 behind on rent. The software mogul says the threat wasn't to anyone's safety.
The only threat I ever made to him was, I'm going to file suit.
But the email chain doesn't end there. McAfee goes on to seemingly accuse the manager, Connor Hyde, of being in on a conspiracy to kidnap him. The documents filed by Hyde's attorney outline a history of erratic behavior, saying McAfee has access to drugs, weapons, and armed bodyguards from a motorcycle club. It also includes the entrepreneur's alleged connection to a murder in Belize. He came to Portland after running from the country where police wanted him for questioning in his neighbor's death. That's why Hyde wants the court's protection. McAfee's response? He's got nothing to worry about.
Protective order means that I can't go within whatever feet of him. I have no intention of doing it anyway, so why would it bother me?
Neighbors say they haven't seen McAfee in months.
They said that they had to leave. He told them to get all the stuff and get out. Then they were gone Monday morning, so that's the last I heard of them.
Nicola lived below McAfee. She says the only problem she ever saw was with his dogs and many visitors.
People came and went, all kinds of characters.
McAfee says he left Portland in September and moved to Montreal. He hasn't come back since and says he doesn't know if he will. Now, we did try to get in touch with the property manager who filed the protective order against McAfee. He did not want to speak with us tonight. Reporting live, Kimberly Eaton, Fox 12 Oregon.
We have some new details that have been released about a hammer attack in Vancouver that sent 2 people to the hospital. The attack happened over the weekend, and according to court papers, Marcus Morrison bashed in the heads of his friend, Aaron Warner, and his girlfriend, Rena Donnelly, because he thought that she was cheating on him. All 3 had gone out Friday night for drinks when police say Morrison got into a fight with Donnelly's ex-boyfriend. Police say she got upset and broke up with Morrison, then left with Warner and headed back to his place. The next morning, investigators say Morrison broke into Warner's home and became violent when he found Warner in bed with Donnelly. Police say the two had fallen asleep together.
Upon seeing the two of them together in bed, retrieved a hammer, struck each of them multiple times in the head with that hammer.
Well, both victims suffered skull fractures and bleeding on the brain. Paramedics rushed them both to the hospital where they are recovering tonight. A man was caught on camera robbing a bank in Washington. It happened this evening at the Columbia Credit Union in the 800 block of Northeast 98th Circle in Hazeldale. Take a good look at these pictures we're going to show you here. Deputies say the man walked into the bank with a weapon and demanded money from the teller. He then ran off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Investigators hope that someone will recognize this guy and come forward. Cameras captured two local scammers in action. Police in Salem say one of these men approached a woman at a Walmart and claimed he needed money for legal expenses and offered to sell her a gold bar for a fraction of its worth. Police say a second suspect then verified that the bar was genuine. Well, after buying the gold, the victim later found out it was a fake. So if you recognize the men you see here in these surveillance photos, call Salem Police. Police say a woman died after driving right into the path of a dump truck. The crash happened along Southwest Barber Boulevard this afternoon. Investigators say the victim slammed head-on into a Portland Water Bureau dump truck. The crash pushed that minivan she was driving to the side of the road where it then caught fire. Flames spread up a nearby hill before firefighters could get them out. Neighbors described that chaotic scene.
You can feel a concussion and heard a loud boom.
I mean, it was loud, very loud.
Police say the truck driver and a Good Samaritan tried to pull that woman from the van but were not able to save her. The dump truck driver was not hurt. Police say he is cooperating with their investigation. Well, they surrounded Terry Horman's home looking for answers in the disappearance of Kyron Horman. The group of protesters was led by Desiree Young, the mother of the boy who disappeared more than 3 years ago. KPTV's Caitlin Bolduc tells us why they took the actions.
Desiree Young believes Terry Horman knows exactly what happened to her son Kyron. She's even gone as far as filing a civil suit against her. But this weekend, she decided to take things a step further and confront Terry face to face. On this street in this small-town Roseburg neighborhood, a mother fights for answers.
I can stand out in front of her house and remind her of the reason we're here. And we're going to be here every day. Desiree
Young and this group of protesters standing perfectly placed outside of Terry Horman's home on Saturday, carrying signs and chalking the pavement with big, bold letters. Where is Kyron?
It's turmoil, and it causes anguish, and it causes a roller coaster that we live every day. And she doesn't understand that.
While Desiree says she only caught a glimpse of Terry's hair behind the curtains of the home, she says Terry's parents then came to the window and called police.
Make a report of trespassing and vandalism in my front yard.
Okay, is it happening right now?
Yes. They're here carrying signs about our grandson who is missing, and they want to blame my daughter for his being gone.
I thought that these were people that claimed to have loved Kyron, but they certainly didn't show it and still haven't shown it since Kyron went missing. They haven't helped us in any way, shape, or form look for him.
Roseburg police showed up to talk with the group, but no citations were issued. Desiree says they were doing nothing wrong, and she'd do it all again if it meant finding out what happened to her son. To be clear, while deputies say Terry Horman has long been the focus of the criminal investigation into Kyron Horman's disappearance, she has never been arrested. Caitlin Bolduc, Fox 12 Oregon.
The ashes of the man who shot and killed an Oregon City police officer have been removed from a local cemetery. Lawrence Canberra's cremated remains were taken to Willamette National Cemetery on November 14th. That was the same day as that memorial service was being held for Reserve Officer Robert Libke. Well, according to the National Cemetery Administration, if someone commits a capital crime, they then do not qualify to be in a VA cemetery, which is why Canberra's remains were removed. Canberra committed suicide after shooting and killing Libke as he responded to a house fire earlier this month. Canberra was an Army veteran.
Hey, Mark Nelson back here in the Weather Center again. Today, another beautiful day. We just had a few high clouds show up. 52, typical high temperature now in the last few days of November, about 50 degrees. So I guess you could say we overachieved. That's the view this afternoon. Bright sunshine on Mount Hood. In fact, we have what we call an inversion. That's why it's a little hazy down below. That's warmer air up above. The mountains, like Timberline Lodge, just about as warm as Portland. Temperatures this evening will eventually fall into the 20s everywhere except where we have the wind. Where it's breezy out near the gorge, it'll stay well above freezing. Troutdale about 38. It'll feel just as cold, though, in the wind. Now, we've got dry weather in the mountains. I do think before the weekend is totally over, especially if you're going to wait till later Sunday or even Monday, we're going to have some snow in the mountains. We're going to talk more about that coming up in my first live local forecast.
In tonight's final cut, resolving the conflict in Syria. The much-anticipated meeting world leaders hope will end the deadly fighting, and why it will be the first time both sides are meeting face-to-face. Plus, it could be difficult traveling anywhere this Thanksgiving.
I was ready for it, but there's a point where there's just nothing you can do.
The wintry blast that's slowing down air travel across the country. And a holiday tradition that's anything but attractive.
The uglier, the better.
We'll tell you how the ugly Christmas sweater went from bad gift to reason to celebrate this December.
You're watching Fox 12 Oregon. First live, local.
A Portland teen says a man exposed himself to her as she walked home from school, and now police need your help to track him down. Cops say the man exposed himself to kids in North Portland twice in the last week, once at George Park on North Burr Avenue, and then again at North Van Houten and Lombard. KPTV's Jamie Wilson has the interview you'll see only on 12.
I walk by here every day because it's the way I take to go home.
14-year-old Dominique Bongiorno lives just a few blocks from George Park, and she knows this area well. So when a lost driver pulled up next to her and her friend last Wednesday afternoon, she tried to help him.
He was parked right here, and he was kind of leaning out his window. He was like, "Hey, I don't know my way around here. Can I have some directions?"
Dominique says the man gave her his cell phone to look at a map, but that's when her friend noticed that his pants were down and he was masturbating.
She was really scared, so she didn't know what to say at the time, so she couldn't do anything. We ran home and we were freaked out, so we had to call the police because we didn't want that to happen to anybody else.
Police say a similar incident happened on Friday afternoon at North Van Houten and Lombard when a 12-year-old girl was walking home. She's a student at Astor School. And as cops were warning school leaders, the principal at Sitton Elementary told them that a man had followed some of his female students on Tuesday.
I don't know what came over me because normally I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's creepy.
Dominique admits she let her guard down that day and she knows to stay away from strangers. Now she just wants to warn other girls.
Don't go up to strange people's cars, and if they ask for directions, say no.
Jamie Wilson, Fox 12 Oregon.
Police say one of those girls described the man's car as a silver or bronze older Honda with pop-up headlights. If you've seen it, call Portland Police. Another of Fox 12's most wanted stabbed a man in the middle of the street, and Gresham police say it all started with road rage. Back in October, detectives say a trucker named Butch Smith was driving his 18-wheeler on Northeast Kane Drive near Stark. That's when police say a man in a silver or tan sedan pulled right in front of Smith and blocked him from driving forward. The man then got out, climbed up to Smith's window and punched him in the face. The fight then spilled out onto the street. Police say the man then stabbed Smith in the side and finally took off. Smith had to go to the hospital, but he is okay. His attacker, though, is still on the run. Going anywhere this week? Mother Nature could put a damper on your plans. A wintry storm is threatening to jeopardize the busiest travel week of the year. Airlines say they're experiencing some wild weather and they are ready for this round. United in particular watches the weather and directs every flight around the world from its headquarters in Chicago. That's where decisions are made to cancel flights. They say there's one thing travelers should avoid when booking.
Probably the worst mistake is to take a connecting flight, or if you do connect, to connect through a known bad weather airport like Chicago or Denver or Detroit or Minneapolis, airports that are prone to snowstorms.
However, experts say a storm as big as this one will be hard to avoid anyway. Nearly 500 flights have been canceled out of Dallas in just the past 2 days, and the ripple effect is already being felt all over the country.
And I think the ripple effect is the issue there because the snow part of it is really only in the mountains coming up the next few days, the Appalachians. So none of those big coastal airports from Atlanta, all the way up to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Boston, they're all fine, just rainy and windy.
Okay.
But you get a bunch of delay. It's just really bad timing. You don't want that to happen now. Well, Wayne, we've got the oven door open. We're about ready to put the pies back in.
Yeah.
We've got the first line of local pumpkin pies ready to go. And you know what? I think it'll be a pretty nice Thanksgiving day. So let's shut the door, take a look at the forecast. I've been working hard on this one.
Well, that's a cool oven.
It is. Happy Thanksgiving, but it's not Thanksgiving quite yet. 50 degrees, I think, just mostly sunny. Great day for playing football outside. It'll still be dry, so.
We'll do it.
So basically, our current weather pattern is going to continue through a good chunk of the Thanksgiving weekend. I guess the flashing turkey means the turkey's almost ready there. But, all right, beautiful view today. This is from Tyler Moat. I want to show you this because we didn't show it to you in the last hour. A great panoramic view hiking up at Larch Mountain, Washington. That's the one you can't drive up to the top, but you can hike up there. And he caught a panorama of, I think, 5 different volcanoes there. You got Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, Mount Adams, and then pretty soon you'll see Mount Hood. And then the tip of Mount Jefferson sticking out down there in the distance as well. But you notice up on the mountain, you don't see much snow up there at 4,000 feet. So we could use some fresh snow. I think that's coming, if not late Sunday, definitely Monday of next week. So about a week from now, a bunch of snow for the Cascades. But no new snow coming up in the Cascades between now and Saturday at the earliest. 52 degrees, that was our high in Portland. Nice day, beautiful sunshine. The coast was nice. Now temperatures cooling off, 30s west side generally. 36 at Government Camp. You notice it's warmer at Government Camp than many locations west side. We've got warmer air at the higher elevations. That'll be the story again tomorrow. We'll probably bottom out at 28 here in Portland like last night, 25 in Salem. Got some teens, higher elevations east side. Still basic patterns remains the same through the first part of the Thanksgiving weekend. We got a ridge of high pressure over us, so storms go around us. This one is just going to nick the coast tomorrow, so if you're at the beaches, you may get a sprinkle. Notice the rain is just offshore. Here we are late in the evening. And then as it continues moving north, it kind of pulls apart. And by the time we get to Thanksgiving Day, we're left with a lot of sunshine. The whole time that east wind will blow through the gorge, not strong like we have right now. The benefit of that is, even though it's windy for those of you out on the east side of town, that brings in drier air, a constant flow of drier air, and that keeps the fog away. That's why the weather stays so nice instead of foggy, which can happen this time of year. So at the beaches tomorrow, 57 at Pacific City, 58 at Lincoln City. Here in the valleys, cold start, then hazy sunshine, just like we saw today. Maybe a little more in the way of cloud cover. Mount Hood, mostly sunny and warm up there, about 50 at Timberline, 50 at Welch's. In the Columbia River Gorge, mostly sunny, windy at the west end. That wind will continue, maybe gust to 50. Hood River, about 40 for a high. East of the Cascades, mostly sunny, another nice day, chilly start. And then the 40s higher up, maybe touching 50 in a few spots. And here in Portland, cold start, 28 early. Nice lunch, 48. That means if you're in the sun and don't move, you're fine. It won't be too cold. But mostly sunny in the afternoon, about 50 degrees. In your 7-day forecast, you don't see many changes there, Wayne, until you get to Friday night and Saturday. I think we could see some light rain Saturday. For sure, very wet Sunday. Sunday's looking like a soaker to me. It looks like snow levels will still be high enough. The passes may still be clear all the way through Sunday. And then, bang, things happen quickly after that. I think Monday we'll have snow showers down in the hills for the first time this season. Most of us may see our first snowflakes on Monday in the air. And then beyond that, it may even get colder. So could have a lot of action next week.
All right, thank you, Mark. After a disappointing loss last night against Real Salt Lake and an end to their bid for the MLS Cup, the Timbers are looking ahead now to 2014. The team released its schedule for next year earlier today. The Timbers will kick off their 4th season in MLS on March 8th. Their first game will be against Philadelphia Union at Gerald Wen, and you can find their full schedule on our website, kptv.com. Straight ahead, do you trust the president? You might be surprised by who doesn't. We'll break down the new poll numbers coming up.
You're watching Fox 12 Oregon. First, live, local.
It has faded from the headlines, but after 3 years, the conflict in Syria still shows no signs of slowing down. Millions have left the country and more than 100,000 people have been killed since the unrest began in 2011. Now the United Nations says an international peace conference aimed at ending that civil war in Syria will happen in mid-January. It will be the first face-to-face talks between Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's government and the rebels who want to overthrow him. The UN Secretary General calls the January talks a mission of hope.
The war in Syria remains the world's biggest threat to international peace and security. It would be unforgivable not to seize this opportunity.
Meanwhile, a disturbing new report shows more than 11,000 children have died in Syria's civil war. The report, entitled Stolen Futures, The Hidden Toll of Child Casualties in Syria, adds that hundreds of kids were killed by sniper fire and some were even tortured. An Islamic militant group is claiming responsibility for last month's deadly attack in China's Tiananmen Square, and the group is threatening more violence. According to an organization that monitors extremist websites, the head of the Turkestan Islamic Party posted a message online calling that attack a jihadi operation. He also said that fighters will target the Great Hall of People, where the Chinese parliament meets. Back in October, a car rammed through security barriers into a crowded square, killing several people. The president was forced off script while making some remarks on immigration today. He was speaking in San Francisco when a member of the audience asked the president to stop deportations and help reunite his family for the holidays.
Most importantly, we will live up. Most importantly, we will live up to our character as a nation. That's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
Every single day.
That's why we're here.
President, please use your executive order to halt deportation for all 11.5 undocumented immigrants. I need your help.
Okay.
Stop deportation! Stop deportation!
Thank you. All right. What I'd like to do. No, don't worry about it, guys. Okay, let me finish.
The Democratic-led Senate passed an immigration bill earlier this year that includes a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, but the bill has stalled in the House of Representatives. Can you trust the president? A new survey reveals a lot about how many Americans answer that question. It's a new CNN ORC international survey that shows 53% of Americans say they don't believe President Obama is honest or trustworthy. Only 4 out of 10 polled said that they believe he can manage the government effectively. And there's more. More than half of those polled said that the president is not a person they admire. And more than half said they don't agree with the president on important issues and don't view him as a strong, decisive leader. But there was a silver lining for the administration. A majority of those polled said the president is likable. Still to come, a day dedicated to ugly Christmas sweaters. How these hideous knits went from a bad Christmas gift to a hot holiday commodity.
You're watching Fox 12 Oregon. First, live, local.
The state capitol in Salem got a big delivery today. Crews set up this year's Christmas tree in the middle of the building. The 30-foot noble fir was donated by the Oregon Department of Forestry and comes from the Tillamook State Forest. Staff at the Capitol began decorating the massive tree today. A lighting ceremony is to be held on Monday, and rumor has it Santa will even be there. Well, you may have seen people wearing those ugly sweaters every year during the holiday season. It all started out as an ironic twist to what was once a terrible gift from Grandma. But now experts say ugly sweaters may be generating their own industry. As Mira Baines reports, one store even considers the sweaters a specialty.
Check it. Where's the pom-pom here? Look at him.
They can be tacky, cheerful, unusual, and downright hideous. But 'tis the season for the ugly Christmas sweater. The ugly Christmas sweater has become a trend to wear at holiday parties.
You put on a Christmas sweater and everyone kind of gets a little more crazier, and it's a good conversation piece.
We decided to do an ugly Christmas sweater theme for Christmas Eve dinner.
These two friends have taken it to a new level.
We had matching penguin sweaters. We just thought it was a gag, and then it got called the Ugly Sweater Party. And
they've been holding an annual ugly Christmas sweater party for more than a decade, and it's grown so big they now hold it in a ballroom.
It's a pretty awesome party, about 1,100 people. We have live music, we have a DJ, we have a gospel choir, we have all the festive elements.
The duo got the city of Vancouver to proclaim Ugly Sweater Day on December 20th. The popularity of the festive knits has led to skyrocketing sales at this trendy vintage store.
The uglier the better. The more tacky, the more adornments.
Co-owner Drew Heifetz says even though about 85% of them are women's sweaters, the kind Grandma would wear, they're hot.
I sell these all year because I'm also a wholesaler. I wholesale these sweaters all throughout North America and actually some to Europe. We've probably sold 25,000 sweaters this year.
With so many choices, picking the right holiday sweater can be tough. And the key to finding the perfect ugly Christmas sweater is finding something that'll take you out of your comfort zone, something you really don't want to be seen wearing. Still, the uglier they are, the bigger the smile.
Okay, hey, we're here in the toy studio again. Wayne Garcia and Mark Nelson.
Got some toys?
Yeah, the Fox 12 Les Schwab Tire Center's toy drive is in full swing. I have here a little boat that would be great for a toddler to play with in the bathtub. What do you got there?
I've got Play-Doh, the old standby. My kids, even in the 2000s, played with Play-Doh. It dries out, but then you just buy more stuff. So kids are going to be looking for toys like these under their tree. And some families aren't able to provide, so we're kind of filling that need. We need your help.
Yeah, so bring a toy either here to the Fox 12 studios on the west side of town, as Mark would say, and then also Les Schwab Tire Centers. They're all over the place. Who knows, you may be needing to go there pretty soon.
Oh, is that a hint, Wayne?
Who knows? You know better than me.
We'll see. You can text donate to 83350. So a lot of people don't have time. You may not be able to shop, but you can just hop online or hop on your phone, text donate. There you go. Something's going to happen, we think, next Monday or Tuesday. Much colder air. We're not sure if it involves moisture for snow or if it'll just turn cold and dry or won't be cold enough to snow, but up until Sunday, everything looks normal.
You want to stay tuned is what I think.